Good afternoon. Tony Dattino, founder and chairman of the USA Memory Championship. And as I've spent time over the weekend prepping and meeting with the team members, preparing for our 25th annual competition. And it is just hard to believe it's 25 years. I can go back to the very first event that we held back in New York City at the Park Central Hotel. And we had 17 people at that time compete for who had the best memory in the United States. In our inaugural event, we had more media and newspaper reporters in the hall, TV cameras, than we had mental athletes. And so we had to let them in a few at a time because the conference room we had it in at the Park Central wasn't big enough. And here we are at the year 25. We're doing it at Full Sail University on September 28th in their media studio, which is like a regular television studio that they use for their students to get them ready for careers in broadcasting and media. So we've gone from a small conference room to a media room on a college campus. And we now have 12 finalists. We usually have a qualifying event sometime in July so that we pick off the best 12 people, and sometimes we can go to 15, but we pick off the best 12 people that would represent the championship in a positive way, demonstrating the skills that they've practiced to improve their memories, and then putting them in a head-to-head competition to see who has the best. And there are times when I talk to the mental athletes that are competing in this and say, just by the fact that you're competing in this competition, you're already a winner. Because if you ask people that you meet on a regular basis in your social circle, friends, family, how many of you would be brave enough to compete in a USA Memory Championship to see who has the best memory of a family group or of a company organization? I think you'd find that most people they'd run the other way. And so as I go through the weekend preparing for who's going to be in the competition and who made it to the stage on September 28th, I'm excited that we've got a number of people who are coming back for their second, third time to compete. And they're just having fun with it. They're not looking at this sort of life or death, but they're using it to practice their own benchmarks, to see what their own skill levels are, and to see the progress that they've made in their own lives, which is really what it's about. And each and every one of us, if we would just establish a benchmark and then let that benchmark flow through and practice 15 minutes 3 times a week, you'd be amazed at how much better we could all get in terms of our memories. And that's really the purpose of the event, to demonstrate to people that we can all learn how to improve our memory given the belief, the willingness to learn what the skills are. It's like any skill we've learned in college or in school, how to read, how to write, how to spell. And this is just another skill that we can put into our toolbox on how to remember people's names, how to remember numbers, how to remember paragraphs of information we've read in terms of policies or procedures or history books or English novels. How do we do these things? And the important thing to know is there is a how-to. And most people don't realize that there's a how-to and that they could improve their reading comprehension. They could certainly improve their reading speed, but the comprehension needs to go with it. They could certainly improve how they remember the names and faces of people that they meet one way or another. They could certainly improve their reading comprehension. So we give the mental athletes data and information, and this year it's about national parks. And I've gotten a lot of nice feedback about this. The mental athletes are enjoying the study because they're learning about the national parks that exist in the United States. And some of them are already planning on going out and visiting some of them based on what they learned and the information that we gave them. So we're excited to put that event on. That's going to be the first event of the competition. And we're excited to share that information. We try to pick topics that would be of interest to the mental athletes because they're the ones that have to put the work in to retain and recall to the questions we ask. but also entertaining to the people that watch this on YouTube. And it will be recorded by the studio at Full Sail, and it will go out on an edited version on YouTube on the 29th, which is the day right after. And Nelson Dellis is elected to compete this year again, as well as edit this down and get this out for viewing. So, and we've got thousands of people that view these, so we're really thrilled at the prospects of what we're able to deliver and produce to people with some level of education, with some level of knowledge that people can then find of interest and begin to just, gee, maybe I could do that. And you don't have to do it in a competition. We have 2 online courses that are important for mental health. One is the Maximum Memory Mastery. If you go to the USA Memory Championship website, you'll find a course there that helps you improve your memory. And you can do that at your own pace, at your own time. And then we have a second course called the 6 Key Factors of Long-Term Brain Health. And it's like, wow, what are these 6 things? And we keep reading. I keep reading about these things over and over again in the various magazines that I'm getting. That was the mine. Here's UCLA's Healthy Years. We keep reading about these things now over and over again on things we can take control over, we can take within ourselves that help us to maintain long-term mental fitness and cognitive health. So we're excited to be at our 25th anniversary. It is just amazing when I step back and think it's 25 years of conducting the USA Memory Championship. And then in November, we are honored to be able to produce a special event. It's the Memory of Champions. It's a memory event bringing champions from our events that we've nominated or invited to be a part of an MIT special event on November 10th. And that is, we're putting a lot of work into, first of all, who are the people that we want to invite, and it is by invitation only. This is not an open competition. It's not going to be an open event to just anyone. We've gone through the several years of looking at first, second, third place people who have made it to the stage, and we selected a dozen people that have been invited to participate in the MIT event. And MIT is just loving it. I mean, they've got the right people putting it together with the right stage presence, with the right formats, and so that's coming together, and that's taking us a bit of work. So those are the 2 things that are coming forward in the last part of 2024, and they're time-consuming. They certainly take up a bit of work, certainly take up time, but I am blessed to have people around me that really step to the plate and really love the event and love to be a part of it, because all of us love to see the results, the differences it makes in the people's lives that participate in the event. And this is a very special year, being our 25th, and having MIT be a part of a celebration of it. So those are the pieces of things coming together that certainly keep my day going by quickly. When I think about Monday, right, last week I realized Monday was come gone and I hadn't done my live with Tony. I picked it up on Wednesday and Friday, so I'm always trying to keep focus on what day of the week it is. And sometimes it's hard to believe we got to Friday again, and it comes so darn quick. I hope you will tune in. Stay in touch with the USA Memory Championship website, and you'll stay in tune to see who competed, who won, what were the scores, how do we make out in our 25th event, which would start with the national parks and the questions that we ask. It'll then move over to our word list. How many words can you remember in 15 minutes of a list of 300? We have 6 Tea Party guests that will share their names and hobbies and interesting facts about each of them. And we'll wrap it up with what we call our double deck, 2 decks of cards or bust. How can you remember the order of 2 shuffle decks of cards? A lot of work to prepare for these things. It seems simple once we get it going. The day goes by quickly. But boy, the prep work starts months in advance, trying to put these together and then getting the mental athletes to compete, all of who are heroes, from those that participated in the July qualifying event to those that have made it to the final stage event on September 28th, and then the electees that have been invited for November 10th at MIT. And off we go to another week. I hope all is well, and we'll see you on Wednesday.